I'm really happy to be able to introduce our guest speaker today and our partner organization, Quixote Center. Our speaker is Dr. Kim Lamberty, and she's the executive director of Quixote Center, and she's also the president of Just Haiti. For you coffee drinkers, go check it out. Kim has been working in Haiti since the 1990s, and she has also accompanied vulnerable communities and human rights workers in areas such as Palestine, Colombia, the US-Mexico border. And this is with her work through Christian peacemaker teams. And she's also managed church-based Haiti programs and directed work in with universities in the United States for Catholic Relief Services. And she specializes in addressing the root causes of poverty and violence, environmental degradation, especially relating to economic justice and Haiti. And she's published numerous articles on the topic. The Quixote Center's current focus in Haiti is addressing the root causes of gang violence through ending illegal weapons trafficking. They also are trying to impact poverty relief through economic development and income generation and environmental restoration through reforestation. So, really attacking what is happening in Haiti from many different angles. Kim, thank you so much for being here with us today. We're going to be calling on the ARMAS Act. On that bill later today so that we can address the illegal arms trafficking that is happening in Haiti. Please tell us a little bit more about the root cause of the gun violence in Haiti and also the work that you guys are doing and also how that work would be impacted if we do get the ARMAS Act passed.
Great. Thank you so much for that introduction, and thank you for the partnership. It's really a pleasure to be with you all today and to focus on passing meaningful, impactful legislation that will call a halt to illegal weapons trafficking to Haiti and elsewhere across our hemisphere. It is a key priority for Quixote Center. As Angela mentioned, we work on the ground in Haiti on economic development and reforestation, and we also work in the U.S. to address policies that impact our partners in Haiti. And it is extremely difficult to work in Haiti right now if you read the news. The country has been, especially the capital and up in the north, has been taken over by 26 separate, you can call them gangs or you can call them criminal organizations, but most people call them gangs. So 26 criminal gangs that have taken over 90% of the capital and also other parts up north in Haiti. They have blocked the roads. The airport is closed. Commerce in Haiti is almost impossible. And people are living without any opportunity to resolve their lives. So since from January 2022 through the end of last year, over 26,000 people were killed, mostly by gang violence, some through violence, retaliatory violence. Of those 26,800 were children. The gangs support themselves through kidnapping in part. We don't have a number for the total kidnapping, but we do know that that what has been reported is that 220 of those kidnappings were children. And I am going to focus a little bit on the impact on children here. Sexual violence is rampant. It's horrific, and it's always horrific in war zones. But what I want to focus on is the sexual violence in particular against girls, because what's happening with these 26 gangs is that they are recruiting children, and they're recruiting children who are impoverished and are seeing no other focus for their future. And so they go in, and also their families get threatened. So they go into these gangs as a way to as a way to avoid violence against their families and as a way to resolve their lives. So what we're seeing is that it's both boys and girls, and the girls are used for sexual violence, and the boys are being used to do criminal acts. And what we also are seeing is that about half of gang members are children. So we're not talking small numbers here. We're talking child trafficking on a monumental scale. We also know that Over 1,600 schools in Haiti have been closed because of violence. So that's one of the reasons why children are so vulnerable because there's no schools. Their schools aren't open, so they don't have anything to do, right? So what is I'll just add to the most recent numbers are 1.4 million people have been internally displaced. So that means that they are internal refugees. And that by percentage of population is the highest in the world at this point. So it's uh, Haiti has about 11 million people, so it's 11% of the population of Haiti has been internally displaced. Many of them are in tent camps in Port-au-Prince, in the capital, including children. Some others have tried to go to other parts of the country and resettle. So they go where they can find family and friends who also generally do not have the resources to resettle them. And that's what makes these children so vulnerable to gang recruitment. So, what is the cause of this horrific situation in Haiti, which is a 2 hour flight from Miami? So there are a number of root causes, and I'm not going to get into every single one of them because I want to focus on what our topic is for today, which is that there are 500,000 weapons in Haiti right now. And those 500,000 weapons are what enable these gangs to take the power that they have in the country. And those 500,000 weapons are coming from the United States. There's not enough tracing of those weapons. We would like to have more, but the ones that have been traced, 70% of them are coming from Florida. So others are coming from the Dominican Republic, but those also likely originate in the United States. It's a result, frankly, of lax gun laws in the United States that 500,000 weapons and the ammunition that goes with them have entered Haiti. Haiti does not manufacture any weapons itself or ammunition. There's no other way to get weapons other than bringing them in from the outside. There is a UN arms embargo. Countries are not selling weapons to Haiti. They are being illegally trafficked. And what's happening, and we have traced this, is that what we call straw buyers or straw purchasers will go into a gun shop and they'll buy 5 weapons. And then somebody can come back a week later and buy 5 more, right? And then they take them to the port in Miami where sea containers, large numbers of sea containers go into Haiti with household goods. So it's family members sending things to help their families who are in Haiti. And then they put these guns into those sea containers. And there's not enough enforcement, and enforcement of that is part of our advocacy effort as well. This particular bill won't address that, but it will address some other key things that are important to stopping arms trafficking to Haiti. So that's how it works. And if we even just stop the flow of ammunition, right, within weeks, gang violence would stop. It's that serious in terms of a root cause of what's going on in Haiti. If we stop the flow of ammunition and stop the guns, they lose their power, and we open up the possibility in Haiti for people to return to democracy and end the violence themselves. We've got to get the weapons out of there. So we're coming to you today to ask for your help. And I will also say, I have, as Angela said, deep connections in Haiti and lots of conversation with our Haitian partners. Weapons trafficking is the number one thing they ask for. They can't understand why we would allow large scale weapons of that magnitude to enter their country and kill their children. That's the reality. So the ARMAS Act is one of a collection of solutions on the table that will help to stop the flow of weapons. And in your materials, there's some some information, but I want to just point out a few key elements of the ARMAS Act in particular that will impact Haiti. Number one, it's going to require a stricter tracing regimen. So right now, very few of the weapons that are captured in Haiti get traced. So what does that mean? There's an online platform sponsored by ATF in the Justice Department that traces captured weapons. And when you trace them, you can find out who is selling them, right? Who manufactures it and what gun shops are selling them. And so we want to have better tracing so that we can do a better and more complete job of figuring out where this flow of weapons is coming from so that we are able to stop it at the source. And in Haiti, not enough of the weapons are traced because the platform isn't in any of the languages spoken in Haiti, for one thing. And the Haitian National Police don't really aren't really trained to use it. So this legislation would make it possible for more of the weapons to be traced by providing that kind of assistance to Haitian political, police and others that are working on this in Haiti. So that's one I want to just point out. The second is that it requires congressional oversight, which we don't really have now. In other words, it requires the administration to send reports to Congress around the issue of weapons trafficking so that Congress can do a better job of oversight. And that oversight part is also really important. It's something that we don't have right now. A third issue in the ARMAS Act, it moves small arms authority away from the Commerce Department and back to the State Department. What that means is the Commerce Department is focused on commerce, right? It's interested in selling guns. As far as the Commerce Department is concerned, we want commerce. And so they exist to help these companies, whereas the State Department would provide oversight from a foreign policy perspective. And so it's a way of making that stricter in terms of who's able to get their hands on weapons. And finally, I'll just point out the issue of interagency collaboration. You've heard me mention a few agencies already: the State Department, the Commerce Department, ATF, the Justice Department, Homeland Security, because Homeland Security is involved in enforcement at the port in Miami. So there's all these different agencies involved, and what we've discovered is that there's not a good mechanism for them to talk to each other. And this sort of collaboration is what's needed in order to do a comprehensive job of stopping the flow of weapons. So what I'm saying is the ARMAS Act is not going to solve all of it, right? But it solves a piece of it. And we have a momentum to get it through Congress this year with your help. The damage that weapons trafficking is doing to Haiti is, to be honest, beyond belief at this point, right? And so, again, I want to thank you for your help and appreciate, on behalf of the people of Haiti, everything that you can do.
Well, thank you, Kim, for that. The statistics are shocking. The number of children, whenever you think of the gangs in Haiti, you don't think about so many children being involved. That is really shocking.
Mhm.
And just the trafficking of girls, the sexual assault of girls, the recruitment of young boys into this gang. I mean, all of that is just, thank you so much for opening our eyes to what's happening.
Thank
Whenever
you for the
we
opportunity.
when we look at the gun violence that is in Mexico, one thing that we're seeing is that the diversion of arms that are sold to the Mexican government. Is that something we're also seeing in Haiti, or no? Are they not buying any arms from other countries, even for their military and police?
So we have seen that. Yeah, there are some Haitian National Police that are involved in corruption. There are some government officials that are involved in corruption where we're seeing diversion of weapons. Yes. Um, we've spoken to administration officials about that. The ARMAS Act isn't really going to impact that issue but
Okay.
different lobbying with administration officials around better vetting of the police force, better human rights training, and also, frankly, paying them. So one of the problems right now with the Haitian National Police is that many of them are not getting paid. And at because the government doesn't have the money. And at the same time, the country's full of private military contractors. So that are coming in from the outside and the government is paying them, right? And so are some large kind of oligarchical companies paying private military contractors to come in and launch drone attacks that have killed civilians already. And at the same time, not empowering, not giving the Haitian National Police what they need to be successful. And in the long run, the Haitian National Police are the ones that need to be empowered, right, to be in charge of the law enforcement in their own country. And we are focusing on that in our advocacy as well.
And one thing I also want to point out is we're also seeing an administration that wants to remove TPS from, is that it? TPS, right?
EPS, correct.
From Haitians that are here on asylum, seeking asylum. And these are the conditions that they would be returned to if they, in fact, got returned to their own country, which that's not even a guarantee these days.
So that's correct. And actually, the US government is still sending deportation flights into Haiti. So, in other words, they are still deporting Haitians into these horrific conditions into northern Haiti. People are being deported as we are talking. They are sending them in. And TPS, most of the people that got TPS, which stands for Temporary Protected Status, most people received that status after the earthquake in 2010 and came to the US because they had friends or family here under the TPS status that has been renewed every 2 years since then because of the conditions in Haiti. People can't really go back. So
Mhm.
now the current administration has rescinded it. It's held up in court right now, and we're waiting for a decision about whether the administration's decision will be upheld by the courts. But the bottom line is, if people are forced to return to Haiti, which is what the administration is trying to do, they would be returned into these terrible conditions that I described, which I consider returning people to Haiti criminal, frankly.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions or comments for Kim? Feel free to put your hand up or put it in the chat. Hi, Tiffany. Good to see you.
Hello there. Good to see you too, Angela, and everyone. And Kim, thank you so much. I'm blown away over here. I mean, I know I don't get to work as much internationally, so just to kind of get a snapshot is always just breathtaking and not in a good way. I guess I'm just curious, Kim, because I also work on violence against women issues, of course, as an intersex firearms. And I'm just thinking
Yep.
about, so what options do women have, and girls have right now in a country that it just seems like there's just no protections and no support, and I'm just like, I guess there is none. That's basically, I'm just trying to soak that in what you told us, like there are none, no protections.
We have to stop the flow of weapons
Yeah.
because it's the guns that are giving criminals power. We have to stop it because that's what's leading to these extreme forms of violence. If we stop the weapons, we're going to go very far in stopping the violence that I described. There will still be issues, but they won't have the same power that they have now. I mean, imagine 500,000 guns. They have more weapons than the police. They have more weapons than everyone. So we have to stop the flow of weapons. And if we do that, we undermine their power and we give power back to the people of Haiti.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm sorry, Kim, one more question. I
Of
also
course.
been reading a little bit about when it comes to private contractors and people that come in, I guess, that somewhat add a measure of safety, that they also contribute to violence and exploitation of women and girls. And I was just curious because you were talking about people hired in this country to, I guess, whatever they're supposed to be doing, how they also contribute. Because I think that also is a issue in countries when you bring in additional quote unquote supports.
Yeah, there's a collection of kind of quote unquote oligarchs that have have extreme power in Haiti. And actually, the root of the formation of the gangs is because these oligarchs were hiring people to protect them and to
Hmm.
protect their businesses, which are often drug trafficking, right? And other illicit businesses. So that's where the gangs came from. And then they got out of control, turned into something that was beyond the control of these oligarchs that are making money off of Haiti's poverty, whether it's in drug trafficking or something else. And so, yeah, so that's where they all came from. One of the things that the State Department is currently doing that we have advocated for and support is sanctioning these oligarchs, people that are known to be involved in weapons trafficking or drug trafficking or other corrupt activity. The State Department has been sanctioning them. The State Department does have some power over that in terms of things like visas,
Hmm.
or where people own property, often in Miami, things like that. So that's the conditions under which the gangs uh, were permitted to grow, and then they
Hmm.
just got out of control, right? In a
Yeah.
power vacuum in Haiti, in a
Hmm.
power vacuum that happened after the 2021 assassination of the president. Then there was a power vacuum, and the gangs basically stepped into that power vacuum.
Hmm. Great. Thank you so much.
And I see, Brent, you have your hand up. Brent, you're unmuted, but for some reason it's doing that weird thing again where I can't hear you. Maybe if you put your, oh, we can hear you now. No, no, we can't.
You can put it in the chat.
Yeah, why don't you put it in the chat, Brent, and we'll get to it.
Maybe Angela can read it.
For anybody who is interested in state work, Kim, what are some things that you guys plan to be working on in the state of Florida, specifically?
Yeah, I mean, so much of this can be traced back to the state of Florida, right? Because the what we're seeing is that the sales are coming from Florida. So the gun shops are in Florida. Most, not all of them, but many of them. And then what enables it to happen out of the state of Florida are lax gun laws in Florida, right? So those two things, and we're not quite there yet, but we are looking at mobilization in Florida to impact both the gun shops themselves, as well as raising the visibility of this issue in order to impact the laws. Um, so so that's the plan. And we're not, it requires an enormous amount of research to
Mm,
get the evidence that we would need to do it effectively. So we're not quite there yet, but we're getting there, and we do have a South Florida plan. The other thing is we really want the Haitian community in Florida involved, and the Haitian community is very focused on the TPS issue that we talked about a
right.
few minutes ago. So, I mean, the loss of TPS for the Haitian community is catastrophic. And
Yeah.
so this is where their energy is going in terms of mobilization, even though there's broad support for this work. So the timing is the issue in terms of how we work in South Florida, but stay tuned because
Yeah.
we'll let you know.
Yeah, thank you, Kim. Diane, I see you put a question in the chat. Is there any chance that Trump would sign this bill? I don't think Trump would sign this bill. I don't think we'd be able to get this bill passed through Congress during the 119th Congress. However, like we do with our priority bills, and ARMAS Act is one of the priority bills for Newtown Action Alliance, we are building support so that whenever we do have the trifecta and we do have the power to pass gun safety laws, that this is one of the bills that is elevated, that already has support support. So we've already done the work to educate members and to get members supporting this bill. So it can be one of the ones that are considered in like the first gun package that goes through Congress. And hopefully there will be a package. So we are building for the future. We're looking at the long game. And that's why we continue to work on ARMAS Act. This bill was introduced last Congress as well. And I can't remember if it was introduced to Congress before that. And it was, Kim. Okay. And this Congress, it was just introduced back in December. So we've got some work to do. We already lost like a year, but we'll get there. We're going to get there. And hopefully when it gets reintroduced in the 120th Congress, we'll have many members that are already in support, and we'll go ahead and get on the bill, and it'll be just that much better poised to become law.
Yeah, and if I can just add, because it's a great strategy and really appreciate it. And part of what we're doing is similar, trying to raise the visibility of this so people understand the connections between US gun laws and what's happening in Haiti and elsewhere in our hemisphere, and just raising the visibility of it so that when we're at a point where we have a different Congress and a different administration, people already understand these connections.